You're far more likely to be realistic and succeed than if you just simply throw this thing up there and say, okay, I want to lose weight. Okay? You want to lose weight when? This year. How much weight, right? And what do you need to do every quarter? What do you need to do every month? In other words, think through what you want to do and then back it down step by step. Okay? And you may very well wind up, once you get some feedback from your mentors and your coaches, saying, you know what? I can't do what I want to do completely this year. So my 1-year plan really looks like it's a 2 or 3 year plan, but there's certain things I need to do this year in order to achieve what I want to do 2 or 3 years from now. Does that make sense? Anybody who comes to me and says, okay, I want to rehab 10 houses this year. How many houses have you rehabbed? None. Okay, that's not a realistic goal. Now, if you come to me and say, I rehabbed 5 houses last year, and I want to rehab 10 houses this year, that's a very realistic goal. In fact, it might be too light. Because anybody can take what they're already doing and double it. You all know that, right? But you can't say, I've never done anything, and now all of a sudden I got this bar set like you. No, that's unrealistic. So maybe for that person who hasn't done anything, the realistic goal is, I want to rehab my first house within the next 6 months, and I want to do 2 more before the year is over. So my goal is to rehab 3 houses this year, and then next year, go from 3 to 6, and then the year after, go from 6 to 12. So all of a sudden, what they thought was a 1-year plan really looks more like a 2 or 3 year plan. Does that make sense? And the only way you can make that happen is if you get feedback from somebody who's knowledgeable, who can sit down with you and say, okay, this is what a more realistic goal would look like. Okay, use your brain. Your brain's a tool. If it sounds too good to be true, guess what? It is. Don't be lulled into this deception of, oh, well, so-and-so is out there rehabbing houses and making $500,000 a year, so my first one out the gate, I can go rehab a house and make $500,000. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Now, logically, intuitively, you're like, okay, I know that. I know that. Okay, why do you think you're going to make $500,000? Because I talked myself into it. Don't do that. Surround yourself, coaches, mentors, inner circle, and people you feel confident and comfortable with getting good, positive feedback from. Don't surround yourself with a bunch of naysayers. But then say, okay, this is what I want to do. Does this sound logical? Does this sound realistic? One of the very, very, very first and best places to start that is the Deal Maker Workshop. Hey, Jesse, my goal is to get out there and rehab 10 houses this year. Okay, how many houses you rehabbed? None. Jesse will guide you. Tell me what you got. Tell me what resources you have. Tell me who's on your team. Maybe you can get 3 or 4 deals done. Okay? But map it out. Use your brain. Use calendars. Use a concept called time blocking. I love this. I didn't always do this, but I love this now. When you look at my calendar, you will see certain things on my calendar. Number 1, you will see me days. Anybody want to guess what a me day is? No, golf is not on my me day. Golf is on golf day. Sorry, what? Me day is exactly what it sounds like. It's a day for me to do what I want to do. Not family, not church, not business, me. So my me days are Mondays. And you will see on my calendar me days. Now, when do I program in what specifically happens on me days? Typically the day before, the night before. In some cases, I'm putting notes into my me days. So as an example, I do my own laundry. My wife does not do my laundry. So on my, so you got other stuff, right? So on my me days, I'm doing laundry. So part of my me day is, okay, I'm doing stuff around the house so I can go ahead and fold my underwear, put it in the drawer. No, you may not know what I wear. Okay? So if I'm home doing laundry for part of my me day, guess what else I'm doing? I'm putting on my headphones, I'm listening to tapes. What do you think I'm listening to? Real estate investor stuff that I want to learn about. Stock market stuff when I thought I wanted to do it, and then I realized I don't want to do that. Right? But stuff that's going to help me to be better at what I do on my me day. If it's not on your calendar, it ain't going to get done. Big lesson I learned this past year. My wife said to me a couple years ago, we ought to have date nights. I thought it was stupid. Then we actually had a couple of date nights. I said, this is cool. But last year I didn't have any date nights on my calendar, so guess what? We didn't have as many as we said. So this year, 2017, there's date nights on my calendar. Now my wife lets me off easy. She's like, okay, once a month. Right? Some folks it's like once a week, but whatever it is, right, once a month. Wednesday morning is golf day. And you know what I'm doing every Wednesday no matter what? Playing golf. Like, Sherman, it's 35 degrees out there. Okay, double up. It's golf day, right? Because I have learned when I play golf, it's really for me, because I'm out there by myself and it's a Wednesday, nobody else, it's a great time just to be out there in the elements and think. And it just gets really creative, right? And because I walk, I get my exercise in, okay? Thursday is Baltimore day. So if I have anything that I'm doing that requires me to go to Baltimore, guess what day I'm doing it? Thursday. Except for Thursday night, which is either teleseminar or webinar, right? Now, why is that important to block out time for stuff like that? And then, of course, Wednesday afternoon is also staff meeting day. Why is that important? Well, definitely don't make a mistake and overbook, which I used to do all the time when I didn't carry a calendar. But what else? What else happens when you block out time to deal with stuff? You only deal with it during that time. So it's really quite liberating. So I have staff meeting on my calendar from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And everybody on the Real Investors team knows at 2 o'clock you better be in that room or near a telephone. Non-negotiable. Do we slip every once in a while? Yeah, every once in a while, but it's 2 o'clock. It's not like 2 o'clock on Wednesday and then a week later it's 4 o'clock. Right? I mean, how many of you guys would really tolerate being a part of an organization that deals with customer issues when they feel like it? You ever been a part of that? I think it's called Macy's, right? It's really, I mean, as a consumer, it's really aggravating when somebody gets around to your issue. Anybody ever use like a technical support and you put in a ticket and you don't hear anything for like 3-4 days, right? Anybody here been a part of one of them other real estate groups that only meet once a month that they don't have a full time, right? It's like, and you don't get answers until they're ready to give you answers. And I've been on the other side of that. I'm like, no, that's not how we want to run this business. And this is a business, right? So every Wednesday we have a staff meeting, and 90% of that meeting is dealt with what do you think we're doing? Dealing with the issues that our members have. Okay? Now here's the trick. Here's the deal. I walk in at 2 o'clock, coming off the golf course or coming off of having lunch after the golf course, and sit down and deal with Real Investors issues. At 5 o'clock, when we finish staff meeting, or 4:30 when we finish staff meeting, mentally what am I doing? On to the next thing. When I'm in the meeting for that block of time, that's all I'm dealing with. When the meeting is over, I'm done. And we've literally had situations where staff meeting is over at 4:30, I hang around for another half an hour, I'm walking out the door, I'm halfway down the road, phone rings, oh Sherman, can you come back and sign this? And I'm like, staff meeting was over half an hour ago, where were you? I forgot. Don't forget next week. Bye. Now, that sounds cold-hearted, doesn't it? But what happens if you don't do that? Then all of a sudden your business stuff becomes your personal stuff becomes your business stuff, this folds over on this blends over on this, and how much stuff do you actually get done? Okay, you guys have been kind enough to sit with me for this long. Let me share something with you that most people never talk about. You cannot multitask. It's not in your notes, it's not on the slides. You cannot multitask. Your brain is not designed to multitask. Yes, we can be having this conversation. Yes, we can be talking. Yes, at the same time your heart is pumping and your lungs are working. Okay, yeah, that's multitasking, true. But your brain is not designed for you to deal with one thing and then immediately deal with something else. This is why it's so aggravating. I didn't understand this as a kid, I understand it now. This is why it's so aggravating when your parent was sitting there or you're sitting there doing the checkbook and the kid runs in and starts asking you all this time, And immediately your brain has to do what? Switch from what you were doing and go deal with the other thing, no matter what the other thing was. And then when you come back to sit down and deal with that thing, how long does it take you to get back in the groove? Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. Now, tasks that we're used to doing, it's a lot easier to get back in the groove. But guess what? When you're new to real estate, as an example, and you have no business experience and this whole thing is new, and you're just sort of like, you blocked out this time to go through the 21-day course, and you get all these interruptions, and then you have to leave and then come back, it's almost like the 20 minutes you spent didn't count for anything. Because now mentally you have to get yourself back in the groove. You understand that? So here's the problem that most of us deal with. We don't block out the proper amount of time to go from beginning to end to get stuff done. And because we don't, we get halfway through a task, and then we go on to another meeting, another thing, and then we say, okay, well, I'm 50% done. When I get back, I'll get the rest of the 50% done. And guess what happens? It doesn't.